text exchange with somebody in the organization yesterday, and I hadn't even thought of this, and maybe, this is kind of is being a little looking too far ahead, but this person said, look, let's see what happens with Jose Reyes. If Jose Reyes gets back healthy, and this issue is still plaguing Jose Bautista, then perhaps with Reyes back, you can maybe make a call on Bautista then. Does he need to go in the DL to rest, or will it help in any way, shape, or form? It's a lot easier to do that with Reyes in the lineup, maybe Devin Travis hitting second, Josh Donaldson down in the middle of the order, and it kind of makes a certain amount of sense that if you can somehow marry those two timetables, at least having Jose Reyes, a healthy Jose Reyes back, it lengthens that lineup offensively to the point that maybe you can give Jose a couple of days or a couple of weeks off.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And Reyes is starting to get close. He's going to take live batting practice today before the game with the team for the first time since he went on the DL. And I spoke to him about it. He said the big thing for him is if he's able to take the ball the opposite way, that's where he had the most trouble, the most pain and discomfort before he went on the DL. So if he's able to do that, that'll be a good sign for him. But, the other factor to consider, too, is that if Edwin starts getting hot the way that he can get hot, then you've got a lot of protection for Donaldson too. And if you slide Donaldson, you have him and Encarnacion 3-4, and they're both rolling, then you're certainly better positioned to survive a lack of Jose Bautista for a couple of weeks. So, it's an interesting point. But part of it too has to be how long they believe they can live without him in right field. And if they think that they can, keep getting a reasonable amount of production from guys like Carrera and Colonello or maybe Pompey once he resets himself, then that makes it easier for them to live with Bautista at DH for an extended period.
Right. The other thing too is you've got the other factor might be the first 3 weeks or the first 3 days in June. You're in Washington. You've got National League rules. That's followed up by a couple of games in New York against the Mets. You've got National League rules there, so who knows? Maybe that'll factor in. Maybe there'll be some sort of coalescing at that point. Good stuff as always, Shai.
My pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Take care. That's Shai DeVita, our MLB insider and Sportsnet. He is in Baltimore. Again, the Jays and Orioles wrapping up the 3-game series tonight at Camden Yards. Aaron Sanchez on the mound against Miguel Gonzalez. Jays 10-2 winners last night. Edwin with a couple of bombs. Josh Donaldson with the home run. Mark Burley with a fine performance against a team that has done a lot of damage against him in the past. 416-870-0590, star 590, 888-666-0590. Talk about Josh Donaldson. Talk about that trade. I love what Gruber's mullet, which is a funny name, Gruber's mullet said on Twitter. And I throw out the idea that this may be Alex Anthopoulos' best trade. He goes, well, wait a minute, maybe in terms of player for player was. But don't forget the impact that Vernon Wells deal had on just about everything the Blue Jays could do going forward, and that is entirely correct. That deal allowed Jose Bautista to sign. That deal allowed the Blue Jays to essentially do almost everything they've done since then. It really was a contract that the Blue Jays needed to get out from under. In terms of player for player, though, Franklin Barreto is a guy that a lot of scouts love. They're not certain he's going to be a shortstop where the Blue Jays had him. And as a matter of fact, I can tell you as an organization, the Blue Jays thought about moving Franklin Barreto out of shortstop, but the thinking was that, to maximize his trade value, we're going to leave him as a shortstop in the minors. If you can project a guy, or if you can promote a guy as a lanky, power-hitting shortstop, there might be more value in that in making the deal, so as opposed to moving him to the outfield and having him as a minor league outfielder. So, Franklin Barreto, in essence, was groomed to eventually be traded for something else. And he's from all accounts, a terrific all-around player as well. But my sense is if Josh Donaldson hits the way he's going to hit at the Rogers Center and plays the type of game he's capable of playing, we're not going to be going through the same stuff we're hearing with Dickey and Syndergaard right now. I don't think there's going to be a lot of revisionism about this deal. Matter of fact, I think getting Josh Donaldson probably extends your window of opportunity a little bit on this team. EJ in Port Carling, you're on Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
Morning, Jeff.
Morning, EJ.
I've been listening to the conversation. I love your show, man. And I
Thank you.
really like it when we're talking baseball.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for the hockey, folks. I wanted to just mention, you used the phrase extending the window at one point when we're speaking about Josh Donaldson, which I totally agree with you was probably Alex's best trade so far, so as it's standing so far. But I guess my question to you would be, if he's the middle of the order hitter of the future, why are we waiting? I think at this point, if we get into the playoffs, and I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that's a possibility this year, who are you handing the ball to first? Out of our rotation, as it's sitting right now, who is that guy? And you and I both know you don't need four guys because they're going to go back to the race, right? We need somebody, and maybe it's going to be Hutchison, but then we need somebody right behind him or right ahead of him to hand the ball to first or second in a critical series. And it isn't going to be Dickey. You can't rely on that guy's pitch, and it's not going to be Bird because he wears down too much at the end of the season. So I love the guy. He does a ton of innings. Given his age, you can't rest him because we need those wins, towards the end of the year. So I think, and I love Jose, but I think, you need a big asset to get a big asset. And I think we've got enough offense. We've proven that over the last 2 years, man. I mean,
I've got to tell you, though, you know what? Here's the thing. If the deal you're talking about, and, I'm going to throw a name. You're talking about a Cole Hamels type of guy, and it's not, Cole Hamels isn't coming here, but you're talking about that type of guy. You're talking about a guy who immediately becomes your number one guy. I don't think you make that deal in season. I really don't. I mean, first of all, let's just operate under, let's just use Cole Hamels as an example. Philadelphia won't trade Cole Hamels to you for Jose Bautista even up, because Jose Bautista is a guy who could be a free agent in a year and a half. Philadelphia's not going to win anything in the next year and a half. They need a young guy. I bet if you went to the Philadelphia Phillies and said, here's your choice, Bautista or Norris and Castro, they'd go, hey, give us Norris and Castro. That's part of the problem. As good a player as Jose Bautista is, I don't think he's the type of guy that gets you that ace pitcher. I don't think he's the type of guy that gets you that front of the rotation starter. Not in the regular season, at least. Now, you can maybe make a deal like that in the off season, because then the team that gets Jose Bautista has a chance to negotiate with them. It's always easier to do that out of season as opposed to in season. But secondly, if you make that deal, it allows the Jays to move some other assets around, and it allows the team getting Bautista to move some other assets around. So maybe now they've got Bautista. If you're the Phillies, hey, we got Bautista, we don't have a starting pitcher, maybe we can move something else to get the starting pitcher. That's why I don't see that happening. It's the